So I've taken the strut assembly out. It's really easy. You've got 3 nuts up here, 1 there and 2 here. Then you've got 3 bolts, 1 long one here and 2 short ones here. Those are 17s. Then you got 2 19s here to take the caliper off. You got a 10 millimeter over here and a Phillips over here to remove this assembly here. These are 13 millimeter. What I did was squish this down so I could get the shock out because it's kind of jammed in there. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this nut that's under here. I think it is a 27 millimeter. I'll take that one off of there. To remove it, I use a cheap Harbor Freight impact, and I just grab the shaft up top with some pliers and crank it off. Blam! Look at that. All in pieces. Nice. Now I have to take this, I don't know what you call that, a collar nut off. And it's real hard to get off, so I usually just grab the welder and a little piece of metal, like that long daddy right there, and just tack it to it, and then I'll just crank it off. I think it's called a gland nut. Anyways, I got that off. I just tacked the little strip of metal there and cranked it around. Came right off. There's the old shock. Nice good amount of water in the bottom. It's always important to put a bunch of water in the bottom of these. Makes it so it rusts out sooner. I guess, looks like I had 2 different shocks in the front end there. I wonder why that happened. Okay. Well, to the next step. I'm going to take the rotor off. I'll repack the bearings when I'm done. That way I can take this thing off, this little shield off, and be able to cut off these 2 brackets here. So once you've removed all your pieces, you're going to take this off. There's 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Set it aside. There's a small bracket attached here. It's got a 10 millimeter on it. Just take that out. It's not going to be useful at a later date. I just shove the axle in a hole in my table so it kind of flattens it out a little bit. You got to cut these 2 tabs off. You don't necessarily have to measure like all the other people say, because look at my finished one. They kind of just go where you can best fit them. So there and there, same distance apart from each other, and this is going to hold my bracket here onto this. This just holds the rest of the line and the dust shield. So next thing I'm going to do is cut these off, and we'll get to that in a minute. I like to use a cutoff wheel. I like to stick these on my face so I don't get pieces of iron in my eye holes. I'm just going to cut straight across the little area here and here. Same on this one, so that I can save the entire piece without nicking it, and it also makes it so it just pops right off with the greatest of ease. Alright, check it out. Cut. Let's see if they pop right off. This one's always a little more stuck. Ta-da! Pretty neat, huh? Next step after this is to cut the bottom off. You need, it says between 25 and 30 millimeters. So I'm going to go 35 just because I feel like it. I'm going to make a little nick here. Alright, switch back to horizontal mode for this one. I wasn't paying attention. So I cut all the way around as far as I could. See? So it just leaves you a little notch right there on the inside where you can't get to it. And then all I do is pry it open, and I just fatigue it off. As you can see, I just pushed down on it on the table. And I'll just fatigue back and forth, and it'll come right off. Now all you have is this little stump on the end. I'm going to take it over to my bench grinder here and wire wheel it to a high luster and chamfer that edge so my sleeve goes over it. I'll show you what it looks like when that's done. Alright, check it out. It's all chopped off. I've chamfered the edge and wire wheeled all this area down so that, well, the area that will be welded, so that it can weld neatly and the sleeve will slip over. Here's the new sleeve. See how it's got that little notch out of it? That goes in this area where it's kind of raised, kind of takes up that area. The thing you got to do, or at least I had to on my other one, yeah, you got to hammer this thing on because it's a real tight fit. So I'll be right back. I'm using a block of wood and some concrete. It kind of squares up just nicely here. Well, I had a rag under that part. And just whack it till it goes on. You got to make sure it's completely flat or it'll, you'll see. Alright, there we go. See? Just want to close that gap all the way around. This little open spot is just because you can't get there, I guess. I'm just going to put a little dot of weld in that little keyway. You don't want to damage any of this under here, these little lines, because they match up with the lines on the bottom of your suspension there. Alright, well, weldy time. And now it is welded. It's very hot still. I'm not the world's best welder, as you can see, but I did penetrate all the way down to the crack first and then fill it in with, my novice ability. I think it'll be fine. Don't be a dick about it. Next thing you want to do is grab your little brackets that you saved from the old shock. This one actually has a curve to it that's going to make it mount real easy. So we're going to grab this gimmick, my little shield, knock some dirt out of it, and I'm going to mount it back on here. Hold on. Alright, at this point you've got these two in. You're going to take this one and mount it to the back of the plate with your bolt somewhat loose. Alright, see how it's kind of loose still, kind of wiggles. But look, ta-da! I don't have to hold it with a clamp or nothing. It's going to mount perfect. So I'm going to zip that up real quick. And by the way, I'm just using this titanium Easy Flux 125. It's a cheap little 110 wire feed gasless welder. Works wonders. Thank you, Harbor Freight. Now that you've mounted that one, the other one here has to go like right there. But what you're trying to do is align the straight edge here with the straight edge here. See this edge? Let's see if I can prop it up. See how it's straight across here? You want this one to do the same thing behind it. Like that. So we got straight. Alright, stand by. What I've done is I'm using the clamp for the welder to hold it in position, and I'm checking for proper clock of the bracket, and it just goes all the way up to the top here. So that, maybe I'll fix this one up a little bit, it's kind of dirty. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, there it is. Looks like I got it stuck on there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, now to install everything.